3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
So I guess this is episode one.
Episode one
of the You Should Know This podcast. And so basically this podcast, we're just going to talk about things that people should know.
Yeah, what everybody should know in certain realms. Like in our realm, a little bit of tech, might get into some photography, all that fun stuff.
Right. Talk about some current events, different things going on, and I guess just like regular everyday things that people should know or be aware of because it could affect their life.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with a current event, just something that's going on.
Okay.
So what do you think about the pandemic? Do you think, as far as it being sustainable, like for life, for work, relationships, family, what's your take on it?
Well, me, how I feel about it is it's not sustainable.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because you can see how Americans, you can see how we are. This is not like France or any place like that.
Right, right.
Americans want to get out there and do stuff. And that's
Right.
what it's my right.
Right.
You know, it's my right to go to the mall and get COVID.
Right.
You know,
Right.
It's kind of one of those things. And, you know, a lot of times, especially in certain places, i.e. Florida,
Man.
they love to get out there and spread that whole thing. So with the economy the way it is and the way it's going, especially after the elections and stuff like that, I definitely think it's not sustainable. But, you know, we shall see. What do you think about it?
I mean, I don't think lockdown is good, and I think it's realistic because we need it.
True.
You know, to stop the spread and everything. But just like you said, in regards to the economy, you know, everyday life, I think people are starting to get fed up. You know, I just saw a story that California is going to do like a total lockdown,
True.
like a curfew and everything. But maybe like Southern Cal, like LA or somewhere around that area.
Well, I will definitely say
So
after 10 years in California, that sounds about right. It's one of the strictest states. I mean, it's like a police state out there. But,
right.
you know, it's versus where you come from.
So what's your 2021 prediction for the pandemic? We're going into 2021, January 2nd. What do you think is the outlook for 2021?
This is what's going to happen in my outlook.
Okay.
January 2nd. Everybody's waiting on their shot. I
vaccine?
want my vaccine. Yes.
You gonna get one?
Well, the official answer is we'll see if they have enough for me.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
I
Fair enough.
want to ensure that the healthcare workers, because it's going to be new.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm a big TikTok fan. I'll say that. And scrolling through TikTok today.
Yes. I see some of the memes where like people take the shot and then they turn into like a zombie or something.
Yeah.
It's some pretty good ones. That
You don't want to just end up being I Am Legend out here.
Seriously.
Yeah, because I saw this one today, and the guy, you know, it's the voiceover, it's TikTok.
Right.
And voiceover guy sitting here, and the lady sitting on the left just kind of reading through her book, kind of like, yeah. He's like, well, we've AIDS has been going on since the 80s. No vaccine for that.
Right.
Cancer's been going on for I don't know how long. No vaccine for that.
Right.
You know, and he starts naming off all these diseases.
Right.
No vaccine for that in 20, 30 years. Now, you get COVID in less than a year. You got a vaccine.
Yeah.
You're like,
That's crazy.
insane. You know.
I remember years ago with the it might have been the bird flu or the swine flu.
Oh, okay.
And they were like fast tracking the vaccine for it. And I never forget this. This lady at my job, I asked her, I was like, hey, you gonna get the swine flu or the bird flu vaccine? And she says, come in the office, close the door. And I'm like, okay, what you about to tell me? She goes, well, I tell you what, if everybody else gets it, I won't need it. True. I said, you know what? That's a good way of looking at things. So I don't know. I think 2021 is going to be a little more of the same, honestly. Hopefully it doesn't stretch into, too far into the year, but the way the pandemic is going so far, I don't think it's going anywhere.
Nah,
This is just where we're at. This is the new
the new normal.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, it's been good for some people.
Right.
Others not so much.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think you've learned personally and professionally due to COVID? Like, since all this has happened, has it changed your outlook? Has it inspired you? Has it deterred you?
Well, it's definitely inspired me. It's definitely inspired me to have a side hustle, and that's professionally.
Right.
Have one. You never know what's.
And it's always good to have a side hustle because Christmas comes. Misfortune happens. It's always good to have something to lean on. In the event that times get a little tough, you don't got to start selling everything.
True that. And personally, especially being someone with kids,
Right.
make sure you're engaged and start early.
Right.
Ensure that you're engaged and the kids can stay engaged because
Right.
once they zombie out on that iPad, it's hard to get them.
Hard to rope it back in.
Exactly, and they literally act like they're addicted.
Right.
I can't function without that. It's like sugar or cocaine or something.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. This I think one of the things that I've noticed, particularly about COVID, from a personal aspect, it's good to be around the kids. You take so many things for granted when you're at work, and then now your kids are home. You get to see them during the day, and you're like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. Or just you notice more because you're around your children more during those daylight hours versus when you come home from work. They're starting to either wind down or wind up, whatever their cycle is, and you don't get like a true like snapshot of how they are throughout the day. You just see like your little zone when you get home after work or before.
Which actually makes sense. You have your things for what I guess lack of a better term, seasons.
Right.
You have your season, and that's my season from getting home from work, interacting with them, from 5 to 10 or 5 to 9, whatever.
Right.
And that's one thing that I did notice being around my kids is they talk a little different.
Right.
They talk a little different when they're around their friends.
Right.
My son was talking online in that new game. I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me. Was that Among Us? And
I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar. I've seen it on like
and
Reddit.
Even my little 7-year-old daughter. Such and such kind of sus. I was like, kind of sus. Aren't you 7?
Right.
Somebody sus. Suspect was new to me, but now she's such and such is kind of sus. I'm like, okay.
Right.
See them interacting with their friends, so it's definitely a good thing. It's definitely a good thing to be around them. You appreciate.
Right. You definitely do. And I know this COVID. For those of you out there that telework or work from home or whatever you call it, here we're located here in the DMV in Northern Virginia, and I would say probably third in the country for traffic behind New York and LA.
Oh, yeah.
So not having to get on that road,
oh my goodness,
man, it makes all the difference. Like, it's when things open back up and we're back to normal, it's probably going to be kind of hard to shift
readjust
back into sitting on 66 or 95.
Oh my God, I can't imagine. There's been days where I've literally gotten on it at rush hour.
Right. And you just sitting there.
No, during COVID. And I'm doing 90.
Right. You can shoot through.
And you're like, man, if this is not the best thing.
Right.
If this isn't the best feeling. But we know it's all temporary.
Right. It's,
But that is a great thing. COVID's been good in a lot of ways.
It is, man. Silver lining, man. Silver lining.
You gotta
appreciate the grateful things.
True.
So I know we were talking off camera when we were talking about how COVID has affected personal home security. And I know you were telling me about the setup that you have at your house.
Oh, definitely.
And you were saying, so how do you think COVID is affecting, personal home security? Because also you were telling me anecdotally about the story about one of your friends that live up in the DC area.
Oh, true.
And how, how that's, the notifications and the system that they have.
Well, there's a lot of ways that just these simple home security systems can help you out.
Right.
Story I was telling is a friend of mine got an email or an alert from their HOA and said, hey, there's a guy between building 1 and building 2. He's got dreads and this, that, and the third. Everybody watch out. So that alert went out
like a blast
to everybody right then. So what happened was everyone started uploading video from their cameras, from their doorbell.
Wow.
And they were able to pinpoint.
Making like a network.
Yes.
Like a video network.
And well, it's DC, so you make sure you have a camera. But
Right.
you know, so and they tracked the guy as he went down the street.
Wow.
He went through some houses and went down the back, and they still got him coming up. Not everybody had a camera. Not everybody
But it
had
was
one.
enough.
Yeah, it was enough people that had them. Like every third person had a camera, and they were okay. Here you go.
That's like that one movie. What was it called?
Oh, Will Smith.
Nah, with what's homie from A Minority Report.
Oh,
Remember
yes.
he was pulling in all the
Yeah,
different video
yeah.
and he was pinpointing like
Man,
the
I thought
future
that stuff
crimes.
was real. I'm like,
Right. And look at
They
us
tricked
now.
me.
Look
It's
at us now.
2020.
Right.
but what I was thinking the enemy of the state with Will Smith.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah,
Same thing.
And they were just tracking him
it
no
was
matter where you
right.
It really-
And that movie came out what, like
98 or
10 years ago?
something. Yeah.
15 years ago?
Yeah. So you're looking at it and you're like, you're thinking it's new technology.
Right.
But we're not as bad as London. I heard London has the most cameras on the planet.
Not China.
China.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think, don't quote me on this, but I remember reading a story that says and of course this is not all of China because it's somewhat rural, but like I guess in the big cities,
Like a Beijing or something like that.
Right. There's like a 3-to-1 ratio camera to people. So for every one person, there's like 3 cameras, like public.
Enemy of the state.
Man, listen, listen, that's a big deal.
I feel you. Good old China. I'll stay here in the good old US of A. Nothing against you, China.
Yeah,
Nothing against you.
Listen, shout out
We're
to
your
China,
friends.
man.
Yeah, shout out.
They, they help manufacture a lot of these things we use. So,
exactly.
you know.
I love them.
Right. All right, so Christmas is coming up,
Wow.
and I know everybody's hearing the stories about this PS5.
Don't
and
you
it's
love it?
sold out. It's funny because I had a family member, come by to visit for the holidays, and he was trying to get the PS5 on Target. He was like, "Oh, I have to get in there. Like, I think it was 8:00, exactly 8:00. So at like 7:51, he's sitting there. F5 refresh. At 8:02, he refreshed. They were all gone.
I didn't know F5 refresh. I was good. I've been doing the manual.
My bad. That's the computer guy in me,
Okay.
the IT guy in me.
Okay. Take note. F5 is refresh. Okay.
So he was refreshing, and at 8:02 they were all gone. So I be thinking that this is a little bit of like a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
Because then he told me there was some at GameStop out in Gainesville, but they had like 2. So how do you advertise 2 PS5s? You literally just cause pandemonium.
Exactly.
Because realistically, more than 2 people are going to show up looking for a PS5. So
And they're gonna show up with their guns. Like,
right,
I'm finna get this.
exactly.
I mean, the exact same thing happened to me. You remember when the what is that? The Nintendo Switch. dropped?
Right. The handheld.
Same thing dropped. My son wanted one for his birthday. Luckily, they were sold out everywhere. So I go everywhere. Boom, boom. Went down to GameStop. They're like, we don't have any more. And I'm disappointed.
Right.
So the gentleman there, he pulls me to the side and he said, "Hey, we're getting 5 of them in tomorrow.
Wow.
About 12." So it was around his birthday. My sister always comes out here for his birthday.
Right.
So I gave her the money. I said 12:01, you be there. She was there at 12:01. My son had a good Christmas. I mean, no, the birthday,
okay.
good birthday.
Right.
And it has to be some marketing. I mean,
Right.
you can't mass produce it. I mean, PS5s are actually sold. I mean, think about it.
I mean, they sold out everywhere.
I mean-
Here, Canada.
But when you look at
Europe.
it, how many could you possibly? Because there's not one in every household.
Yeah. I mean, the demand is going to exceed, the production, of course.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to make 3 million, 4 billion, one shot. They probably put out a couple 100,000 and then, see kind of how it goes. And then,
They get those Apple new iPhone release lines.
Right.
See the people in the line. Oh, look what everybody's coming to get our product.
Right.
Hey, I guess you got to do what you got to do, but come on. Yeah, I think you're more right. It's more marketing than anything.
It is. But for those of you out there that are looking for a PS5, can't promise y'all know where they're at. But if you Google like restock tracker or PS5 stock tracker, they'll give you different resources where you can actually go and check like per store, Target, GameStop, Best Buy, and it'll show you like an active or a real-time stock tracker. We're doing this on the 7th of December, and I happened to look at it earlier today, and nobody still has it. So, I mean, realistically, it's probably not going to be a tomorrow thing, but you know, sometime in the near future, as you know, the holidays gets a little bit closer, that might be a good resource to have.
Because you got to think, those production lines are running 24/7.
Yeah.
They're running 24/7, 365. Especially
Right.
this new. I mean, they have to be able to produce enough.
Right.
I mean, as during this podcast, they probably did 400.
Yeah, easy.
In 3 or 4 factories. Not sure where they come from, but I'm pretty sure. Shout out to China. That they're probably from there, and they're on a boat somewhere getting ready to.
Yeah.
You know, because you're talking about $3.99, $5.99 a pop?
Yeah.
Come on.
They making bread.
Oh man, it's real.
What is that? Sony, right?
Sony Entertainment.
They're making bread. They're making bread. So what you think about? So we probably gonna show our age a little bit, but I know as a regular practice, a little different in the game systems because there weren't very many bugs and stuff in the Nintendos and the Genesis. It just kind of is what it is. But I think over time, probably in the early 2000s, we kind of learned those Generation 1 devices
True.
usually come with the bugs and the little errors. And so what do you think? Do you think it's worthwhile for people to just stand on these lines and get these PS5s, or maybe wait, 6 months, and then maybe the volume might be a little more available, and then they can get one that maybe not have those initial errors or bugs? Or
Well, I mean, with this, to be honest with you, I don't think people can wait. Especially if you're talking about kids.
Right,
Older
right.
folks, we can probably wait.
right,
But my thing is, I'm a PlayStation guy.
right.
Go get your PS5.
Okay.
Run out there and grab the first one. I understand it may be a little bit buggy, and I'm pretty sure you could kind of enlighten us on that. But I say go grab it.
Right.
Go grab your PS5.
Just like anything else, it's not going to be perfect. But I think this is not the first rodeo for Sony. This is their 5th generation machine.
True.
They've been through this rodeo before. So I think if there is a bug or an error, they'll have like patches and updates available. It may not be the most comfortable process, but they'll have something. They won't leave you high and dry like, oh, my machine just bricked on me. What do I do now? I'm sure they'll have something set in place.
To a certain extent, because they have to protect their investment.
This is true. This is true.
They're bumping up against Xbox. No offense,
Right.
When I don't know what the numbers are, but I heard they're not close.
From what I heard, no.
They're not close.
They're not even ballpark.
But that is something that you definitely don't want to happen.
Right.
Now, not to get too nerdy out on the photography end of it.
Right.
And everybody knows I'm a photographer. And
We know now.
now. I'm a photographer, portrait
Right.
photographer. But Canon did that with Sony. So did Nikon.
Oh, okay.
They didn't. Oh, Sony, they make PlayStations.
Right.
They didn't take them seriously. So instead of getting their S together, they let them come in and they got that part of the market. And they just started eating.
Right.
And now they're Canon and Nikon are losing market share and they're trying to keep up with Sony.
Right.
So you can't let people get in. So Sony, keep your game face on. Don't let Xbox come out there taking in your market share. I'm a Sony guy.
All right. So with that being said, right? So here's the IT guy in me.
Okay.
Right. So I saw a story that said a lot of kids realizing they're not going to be able to get the PS5 because of stocking. They're switching over to like more of a gaming PC. Like that's what the kids are asking for now, for gaming PCs, which it makes sense. It kind of makes sense because that's essentially it's a special purpose. The PS5 and Xbox, they're just special purpose, computers. So what do you think as a parent if your son or daughter came to you and said, "Hey, Daddy, I want this gaming PC. What do you think?"
Well,
what's your take on it?
This is
as an
when it
alternative
comes-
to the PS5.
When you start talking, you're showing your age.
Right.
I'm originally a gamer off of PC.
PC,
gamer.
yeah. I think everybody was.
Yeah, I'm
The
the
5
ultimate.
and a half, you put in a little big disc, and you got to
Well,
put in like
we're
4.
not going back that far.
You got to put in like 4 discs.
Let's go back to the start of the modern era. The
Okay.
Start of like LAN parties, if that ever makes any sense.
Well, your internet used to be like.
I was a LAN party guy.
Okay.
I built computers specifically to do LAN parties, and
Okay.
8 of us, and we'd play Unreal Tournament. So let's start right there.
Okay.
Star Trek Elite Four. So we'd have LAN parties and start blowing breakers and stuff like that. Now that I nerded out on that.
Right.
You know, that's where I come from. And back then, you could build a PC that would take on any part of PlayStation, Xbox, anything like that. I'm all for it, but it depends, you know, because a lot of kids are getting laptops, and are already getting laptops from their school. So parents, everything's moving away from PCs and consoles and stuff like that. People are phone gaming a lot now. So I think a lot of parents are going to be like, I'm not going to give you an iPad. School gave you a laptop, but let's be honest, we can't sit back and think that that a PC is going to be outdone by a PlayStation.
Right.
Won't happen. So that being your realm, are you yay or nay on the gaming PC?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you two perspectives.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you, as an IT guy, yeah, why not? Because most of the games now, they're kind of like non-platform specific.
Okay, true.
So you can play like Fortnite. I remember that was big. I guess last year or early this year, you could play Fortnite on your phone, your tablet, on the Xbox. You can play it on your PC. So I'm all for it. As a dad and a breadwinner, I'm going to say absolutely not. Because gaming PCs in price, they absolutely dwarf PS5s. I mean, to get a decent PC, game PC nowadays, you're probably looking at like just shy of $1,000, and that's like a basic, you know, just get you, you know, in the ballpark, so to speak. If you want something serious, thousands of dollars, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
Well, another question to you: how close? Say the PS5.
Okay.
What is it? $499, $599?
It's like $599, I think.
So say $599, $600.
Right.
How close to a PS5 could I get for $600?
Yeah, it's probably not gonna happen. Honestly, you know, because if you look at the way they're produced, you know, it's like it's a special purpose machine, so they kind of corral all the parts and the pieces, you know, at cost to be able to put it in 500,000 machines.
True.
You know, you and I are not gonna like build or produce 500,000 PCs. So every little piece we buy, we might find a wholesaler or somebody on eBay, but it's gonna be close to at cost. Yeah. So I mean, realistically, it's probably not gonna happen. You might look up and there's a special on Tiger Direct or something, or you know, one of the online stores, Amazon. But I think as a general practice, you're probably not gonna find something that's that close in cost wise. So for a cost benefit, I would probably lean more to the console because it's, you know, but you know, if you have a serious gamer, you want to invest some money, and it's still a computer, so it can be multifaceted. You could use it for home stuff, you could use it for work stuff. Most gaming machines have a lot of RAM, a lot of memory, graphics cards, so you can use that for like video and audio. True. If somebody in the house is good with video or audio, you know, it could be a special purpose machine for that.
Oh, well, that's a fight right there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
it's gaming time, Mom.
Right. You call
stop making money.
Right, but going back to your comment with the side hustle, you know, having a machine like that could also benefit a side hustle. You know, if you happen to be a photographer, you do something with video.
As the folks know, I am a photographer.
Right, so it's, you know, having a machine like that kind of gives you that horsepower to, you know, help your workflow a little bit.
Definitely when it comes to, you know, running Photoshop, all this fun stuff, and getting those extra large files.
Most definitely.
Files are getting bigger. I mean, they definitely are. And with these 40, 50, 60 megapixel cameras coming out, if you want to utilize that, right, you're gonna need the processing power.
Right, you need something behind it to help process all of those, you know, large images, and, you know.
Oh man, all that fun stuff.
So, most definitely.
Knowing that, you know, we kind of have our friendly banter, being, as you guys don't know yet, but I'm a Mac guy.
Yeah, I'm a PC guy.
Definitely. I used to be we're like we used to be the commercial.
We run the world, by the way.
Definitely. I will lie. I was on his side definitely. I was a PC guy for years.
Right.
Years, and my brothers kept coming at me like, "No, let's get the Mac stuff. Get the Mac stuff." And I was like, "No, it's too expensive. This, that, and the third."
Right.
And up until I resisted up until about 2015.
Right. Listen, I'm not against Macs. I don't think there's anything wrong with Macs. Just PCs are better.
They're better at getting viruses. You're right.
True.
They are better.
Every day's gonna have a pro and a con, right?
But banter aside, it's one of those things that what's right for you.
Right. It's your preference,
and
your need.
And right now, as we've talked recently, and it's like, I start to think about, well, should I,
Chum on back over.
come to the dark side?
The water's great over here.
I'm telling you, you think about it. Once I started looking at the new Mac Pro, that thing was $5,000.
Yeah, man.
And I said, hey,
they know exactly what they're doing over there on that Mac side.
But it makes you think, and then you're like, the ease of use, you can't give that up.
Yeah. I get it. It's not to nerd out too much, but the Mac is a closed system, so you're not going to run really into hardware issues. Very rarely do I see like major software issues, whereas PC side you get an update, a hot fix, something doesn't work just like that.
And you're 100% right.
So
if I have to install another driver,
exactly, it's part of the game, man. It's part of the game.
Yeah, you give up something, you get something. So a lot of things about Mac frustrate me, and PC just does better. And vice versa. So that's how it goes.
It is what it is. So not that COVID is not affecting the world negatively and destroying our world as we speak. I heard, or I can't say I heard, I read a story about Comcast. They're going to put data cap limits on basically your data, your internet package at home.
Wow.
So, and from what I understand, I kind of have it here a little bit. So 1.2 terabytes. If you go over that, there's going to be an extended cost for your home internet. For those of us out there that are not really familiar with 1.2 terabytes of data, it's a good amount. Yeah. But if you live in a house with 2 adults and maybe 1 child, that's going to go quick. Between, video streaming, like on YouTube, on your personal devices, kids playing online games, if you're
Netflix
doing music,
and chill.
Right? Exactly.
When Netflix is watching you, after you doing your thing.
So it's crazy. Like, how could I get it from a marketing standpoint. It actually makes sense because right now these large corporations, they know we're home, and the single most resource that we're probably all 100% relying on is that internet.
100%. And you know me, I'm always for the consumer.
Right.
Whatever does best. But at worst, I can say this will inspire healthy competition.
I think
so.
It will.
You get 2 or 3 that do it, and then you get 1 that drops out.
Right.
He says, you know what? Come over to us. We're not going to charge you for that.
Right.
Come over to us. But I think it's reprehensible. I mean, enough people are losing their jobs. Enough people are.
It's unscrupulous to just kick somebody when they down.
Yeah. Well, here's a hurricane coming. Let me jack up gas to $15 a gallon because everybody wants it.
Right.
COVID comes and we're selling toilet paper for $8 a roll. Yeah. So come through.
I was amazed to even see a story like that because I thought that kind of goes into those monopoly and antitrust laws where you can't that's a resource that I'm assuming would affect national security.
Yeah, you start gouging on internet.
Yeah, that's so those of you out there, check it out. I think I read the story on The Verge, and
those guys are good.
We'll put shout out to The Verge. It's a real good resource. We'll put all the information in the description, but it's a good read because it actually affects Maryland and Virginia, and I think DC as well. There were 12 states that it was going to affect, and it just so happened that DC, Maryland, and Virginia happened to be on that list.
Okay.
So if you have Comcast, that's one thing to look out for. But link in the description. But going back to the gaming PCs, right? So I actually just happened to purchase a PC myself, and I was looking for some extra parts.
Oh yeah, I remember you were saying that.
So I went up to a store called Micro Center. It's just a computer store for those of you who are not aware. And I had to go twice. Now, as an IT guy, I feel ashamed to say that because I didn't take due diligence to actually look and need look to see what I needed. I just went, I need one of those. I'll just get
It
two with the same
happens.
one. I'll get it. So I went the first time at probably about noonish.
Okay.
Store was packed. I mean, from front to back, totally packed. And it kind of threw me off a little bit because I'm like, okay, why are so many people in the store at 12 noon on, like, I think it was a Saturday I went. Saturday or Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
But I didn't think much of it. I said, you know what, not a big deal. Well, the piece that I needed was actually in the back of the store. So for those of you that are kind of aware with Micro Centers and how they're set up, the back of the store is where they have all the advanced, you know, like the
Mac
really,
stuff is in the back.
exactly. The computers that cost like $2,500 and above, that's where they're at. And I seen like crowds of people around these machines. And in my head, I'm like, there's no way they're buying all these machines. But I shrugged it off. I got my piece, you know, looked at whatever. Of course, I get home, realized one of the pieces was wrong. Ended up going back at about 4 o'clock. Guess what I saw?
What's that?
Same crowds of people around these machines. It blew my mind. Like, oh, you know, and I kind of like, not to look like a weirdo or nothing, but I air hustled a couple conversations. I seen like a man probably with like a kid that was probably about 10 or so.
Okay.
Then I seen another couple, you know, probably they look like they were probably in their 30s or so. And I'm just kind of pretending like I'm reading my little, you know, my little box, and I'm just air hustling. And they're really like, I would say from what I got, I probably heard 3 or 4 conversations. They were all buying stuff for gaming, for online gaming. So
Pandemic gaming.
yeah, it kind of like threw me off a little bit. Like, wow, people are actually like by volume purchasing these machines that are like 2,500, 3,000, 3,500.
So were they buying the machines pre-built, or were they buying components for them, kind of like what you were doing?
So in the back of the store where I was at, some of them are pre-built. And then some of them are kind of just what they call bare bones. So
Okay.
they'll give you like, you know, just the necessities of the machine, and you kind of add, you know, kind of like the accoutrement. I want this size hard drive. I want this type of card.
To us guys back in the day, bare bones, you know, that was where I started. That's where I started. I said, you know, don't give me that pre-built stuff. I want to save a little money. Give it to me bare bones. I get to pick out every little component that I want.
But it blew my mind, and it kind of made me think. You know, I'm sure there's a certain faction of people that are buying those things, buying it for the gaming. But I'm sure there are people buying it for purposeful stuff, you know, work at home, virtual learning. They got a side hustle. So it kind of made me think, you know, if you're in the market for a new machine, it's probably best to, you know, get one as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because I think we're going to see that same desert of PCs like we're seeing with the PS5, because I mean, people are out there buying them. And, you know, I kind of, when I was getting my machine, I was kind of looking through it on Amazon, on a Newegg, Tiger Direct. And there's a new graphics card. It's a NVIDIA,
the NVIDIA
3060.
Okay.
And I mean, it was sold out like in a matter of hours. And then the next version before that was sold out in a matter of hours.
You don't want to end up with your gaming PC with a 3-year-old video card. You know, you're getting smoked out there.
Yeah. You could get laughed out the game.
Like, I can't kill anybody.
Exactly. But it just made me think, like, you know, just like the PS5, this is like the new normal. People want these devices because,
True,
you know, there's an inherent need for machines.
Correct.
You know?
And it definitely fills a gap. If there's a
Right.
if there's a void in the system, just say I can't get my PS5s.
Right.
Can't get it. I can still play with you.
Right.
I can still get into Fortnite, and I say, I don't know, get into these Fortnites and these all these other games.
Right.
You can still play with a lot of your friends.
Right.
Because I'll hop on every once in a while, and I've had them all: Xbox, PS4, PCs, the what do you call it? The Nintendo Switch? I've had pretty much every system out there, but never could play with people on different platforms.
Right.
So with the PS4, that was the first time I was ever to play in multi-platform games.
Right.
And loved it. I played what is it that comes out every year? The shooting game.
Call of Duty. Right.
And I was able to play. A friend of mine, don't know why, diehard Xbox guy. Diehard.
Okay.
But
And it was even back then it was cross-platform?
no, I mean this was this year.
Okay.
During the pandemic. But
Okay.
I don't know how long that's gone. But cross-platform, the way to go. So get your PCs. If you don't get PS5,
Right.
get
Or
your
Mac,
PCs.
or Mac.
Okay, I will give you that. You don't see too many Mac gaming computers.
You don't.
I don't think I've ever seen any, but
I'm sure somebody can.
Yeah.
You can kind of finagle and jerry rig it to.
Okay, if you're a Mac guy, go get a PS5.
There you go. You heard it here first.
I will say that. Yeah.
So here's something that's affecting all of us, right?
What's that?
Something deep and serious.
Okay.
Causes frustration, right? Causes fights,
Well,
right?
I don't think we're thinking about the same thing.
Well, what I'm talking about is, what do you do when that home Wi-Fi starts to slow down?
Oh my goodness. You're talking about fights.
Yes.
I mean, it is literally like a lifeline.
Right.
Imagine a mother of four.
Oh my goodness.
A mother of four who just baked the best cake she's ever baked.
Right.
And the internet is so slow that she cannot post that online.
Right.
That is against
I can
God.
imagine.
Oh my goodness. What happens then?
You take that perfect selfie and you just can't quite get it up to Facebook and your IG. And,
You're like, what is going on here? Like, now that you talking about the 7 deadly sins.
oh yeah, it's 8. We just created a new deadly sin.
Slow internet.
Because I can imagine that causes some frustration.
Now I get it. In my household, it is a thing of. It's reprehensible.
Right.
When your kids come to you.
It's almost unforgiving.
Yeah, like, and I have a pretty big household, so
Right.
I'm working from home.
Right.
You're working from home.
Sharing that Wi-Fi.
Kids are working from home.
Right.
And everybody's working from home, so it just slows down. I'm on a VPN.
Right.
Pretty bad for my job. Not going to get into why, but it's pretty bad for my job. It's
Right.
slow without pandemic.
Right.
But you add everybody online at once, and it just really drains it. So a solution for me is what I said. I decided to get a mesh network.
Right. Okay.
So
explain to us a little bit what the mesh network is.
Mesh
For
network
for those of us that out there that don't
for the
know
uninitiated.
quite- Right.
And let's see if I can get this quite right. A mesh network is where you have a router, and normally your router, what it does is it serves pretty much every device in your house.
Right.
Every device connects to that router, and that router connects to the internet. So what a mesh network is, they take your router and you have a another router
Right.
that connects to that router, and it's one thing. So if just say you would put this on a different part of your house.
Right.
So you're on the top level, and you can never get internet on the top level next to the garage.
Right.
So you'd put another node there, and it works just as if you were connected to the router, but that node being closer to you runs a lot faster. So
Okay.
it expands your Wi-Fi, it gets rid of all the dead spots.
Okay.
So you can on a lot of them you can put up as many nodes as you want and get full coverage for your house.
Okay. So as an IT guy, full disclosure, I never have like slowness at my house. It just doesn't happen. But I took the necessary precautions. Even I would say when COVID was getting a little serious, I upgraded my router. And
What'd you get?
I have an Asus AX8.
AX8.
router.
Okay.
Not quite sure the model number, but I'll put it in the description later.
Okay.
But for lack of better words, it's a very powerful router.
Okay.
And it's able to manage the Wi-Fi in my home. And I would say similar to a mesh network, it has a lot more coverage because it has these 4 very powerful antennas.
Okay.
So it kind of gives me almost the same benefit as a mesh network,
Okay.
but just from a single point access or a single point device.
But so in your opinion, so you chose to go with one router versus a mesh network.
Right.
Now, what made you favor one over the other?
A couple of different things.
Okay.
So with the router, there's a little bit more management. So I can reroute what's called the bandwidth. The bandwidth is the amount of quote unquote internet that comes into your house from like Comcast or RCN or whatever your provider is. So I'm able to manage that a little bit better, per device or per area. I future-proofed it because there's going to be a new technology that's rolling out called Wi-Fi 6. And Wi-Fi 6 is just like more bandwidth, like a bigger bandwidth. So it kind of future proofs.
Bigger is better. Yeah.
Right. My home connection, and I'm more of a tinkerer. And there's a little bit more resources and tools on a single point device versus a mesh network. But there are some good mesh networks that have,
true,
because a good back end.
I'll be honest, for those of us who are not tinkerers and they just want their stuff to work,
just plug it in, plug and play.
Plug it in and it works. So that is one of the biggest differences.
Right.
So Ed being the super techie IT guy.
I wouldn't say super techie.
I would say super techie. It's something that you look into. So no matter what it is you get out there and get, take a look at it, see if it's something for you. I like the mesh. And for what you guys don't know, here's another thing. What I am, I'm a Mac and a Google guy.
Okay.
So everything I get is Google Nest, whatever. That's the mesh network that I use. Anything Google. So I have the Google, what do you call it? It's Google something. It's Google Mesh Network. You find these nodes or whatnot. Right. So super simple. So for me, I like simplicity. I plug it in, it just works. And the nodes for those guys, they are, for those who aren't scared, they are, I guess, the Google assistants. So you can, wherever you put the nodes, you can say, hey, Google, tell me XYZ. What's the weather going to be like today? Right. So they kind of double as speakers and they double as this. So if you're into that stuff, home automation, go for it. So research, no matter what it is, research the mesh and research these super high tech, big broad antenna.
Yeah.
You said Asus what?
Right. Asus AX8.
Okay. Does it work good for you? Did it fill your needs?
Works great.
Okay.
Works great. We actually have a situation where a couple of neighbors in my family, we create like these little pods. So we'll take turns doing virtual learning at each other's houses. So I would say at any given moment, we probably have, I would say at least 7 devices. Just 7, between the kids. Then myself, my wife, every now and again, if a parent is upstairs kind of just hanging out for a little bit, having coffee, maybe on the Wi-Fi. And, this virtual learning thing, these kids are on Zoom. So, video takes up a lot of bandwidth.
Definitely.
I haven't even blinked. It's been working like a charm. I had to make some modifications to the network, but, for the most part, nobody's complained. Nobody's been disconnected. So it's been working out pretty well.
As you tell your piece, I got to tell mine.
Right.
My simplistic mesh network that you just plug in and it plays. I'm pretty happy with mine as well.
Right.
So I get way more coverage than I got with just a router.
Right.
Way more coverage. I'm covered no matter. I can be outside going to the mailbox because a lot of times I'm on Teams.
So you trying to tell me your mailbox has Wi-Fi?
Mailbox has Wi-Fi. It's 2020, pandemic 2020. My mailbox has Wi-Fi.
Right.
But that is one thing that I will do. I'll be on a Teams call, and I take Teams on my phone.
Right.
For those of us who can, some people can't, but I take Teams on my phone.
Right.
You're just sitting there, doing nothing, listening to this boring thing, trying not to fall asleep. So I'll go outside, put it on mute, go get the mail, or go rake some leaves or something like that, something useful.
Got the headset on and everything.
Exactly. So as long as it's on mute, I literally, once I upgraded my network to the mesh network, I'm able to go out to the mailbox, no problem. Before it would just cut off. It would cut off and switch over to cellular.
Right.
Can you say cellular? Is it still cellular?
Yeah, it's still cellular.
Okay, cellular. That was back in the day when they had
cellular data.
Yeah,
that was the 1G days.
God, let's not even talk about that.
From the no G days.
Oh man,
I remember with the flip phone, and it was like the two monochrome colors.
God, I remember when they first came out with polyphonic ringtones.
Yes,
you're like, wow.
Remember when they used to have the antenna you'd pull out?
I had
like an old school car antenna.
I had that. See, a lot of you younger, you'll never understand that.
Yeah.
We had the Zach Morris joint. You don't even know who Zach Morris is.
You don't even know who that is. This is our, we walk 3 miles to school every day.
Yep, in the snow, uphill both ways.
Right. So I heard this crazy story, right? And it makes sense because as an IT guy, we're kind of always looking on the purview and the horizon for these things.
Okay.
But I heard hackers are now targeting the COVID vaccine supply line.
Ooh, that's like, wow. I mean, how bad is that?
I mean,
These guys.
it's a cold world, man. It's a cold world.
Wow. COVID vaccine, the people who are trying to help and get rid of the
Right.
pandemic for those who are going to take the vaccine.
So I guess there's people out there trying to, profit off of, the misfortune and, the potential
Well.
vaccine, which is another reason why I say everybody else gets it. I won't need it.
Exactly. Just like wearing your mask.
Right.
If you're the only person in the store with without a mask, hey.
If you can get in. But yeah, I just thought that was pretty crazy because,
Which is insane.
Wow. Like, what will they think of next?
I mean, they'll hamstring anybody.
Right.
Because on that same note, I didn't know they were going after those guys, but I heard they were going after the schools. You know.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about what was it? The school system in Baltimore.
Yes.
That I don't want to misquote this, but I vaguely remember hearing some hackers or somebody got in, and they basically forced the administration to take the day off.
Okay.
Like they essentially online closed school, and the administrators couldn't get back into the system. So it was
Okay.
like, all right, well, I guess we're closed for the day.
To what purpose? That's what I want to know. I mean, obviously to make money, I would assume.
Well, I'm sure to be nefarious. I'm sure there might have been some type of monetary aspect to it because
Well, if you
when isn't there?
pay us and we'll give you your school back.
Exactly.
We'll let your kids
Held
learn.
them hostage,
That's how they do.
digitally hostage.
It's happened to me before on a
Has it?
PC. Yes, I was on a PC.
See, why I gotta be? See how you made the PC Mac thing?
I'm just saying, I was on a PC and hackers
They got you.
they locked me out.
Oh man.
I
Were you able to get back in, or did you pay the ransom? What did you do?
no. I gave up, formatted my hard drive, and
Just took the L.
I downloaded something probably I shouldn't have. I was,
Okay,
one of those email. You know how you get those phishing emails?
Yeah.
Oh, my account's been hacked. That was the hack.
And they got you. Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
okay, downloaded that. Next thing you know, boom, computer started running really, really, really slow.
Right.
My PC started running really, really, really slow.
Right.
And then I got this message. Anytime I'd open the internet, your internet has been whatever. Go to this link, and work on getting it back. So you go to the link. Hey, $59.95. We'll get rid of this virus
Oh
for you.
wow. Hit you with the okie doke.
And this is back in the day.
Right.
We're before 2000.
So we talking like XP, Windows
Yeah.
98.
XP definitely.
Okay.
Back in the day, not to say that it's any less secure now or more secure now, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Right.
So I quit for those folks who didn't know. I stopped using right around like it's drugs or something, but I stopped using.
You're recovering. I saw the light.
at the end of XP, right when 7 came out.
Okay.
Because I can distinctly remember someone wanted me to do something to their computer, and I was like, I've never seen this before.
Right.
Windows 7, they changed the whole layout.
See, that's when it just got better. You missed out, man.
We shall see. But I'm definitely not opposed to it.
Right.
Because as we've had our friendly banter,
Right.
I'm a Mac guy, but I'm not an iPhone guy. I'm an Android through and through.
Right.
So though I use both, I'm Android all the way. It's open system, just like PC is open system.
Right.
And that's what I don't like about Mac is it's not open, not an open system.
Right.
But you can do anything. And I get into some of the off the beaten path type stuff with my Android. Not going to go into it here.
Tinker on?
Yeah, I tinker a bit. You're not tinkering with an iPhone.
Nah.
Nope. I'm
You
not
get
jailbreaking.
on, you get off.
Exactly. It's for the people who want to use it and not work with it.
Right.
Just get in there and use it. But I mean, it is, everybody has their things.
Right.
Everybody has their little idiosyncrasy and how they want to live.
Right.
But I'm definitely Android guy when it comes to phone.
See, you're almost there. You're almost back to the PC side.
I'll let you guys know if I decide to go all the way back to PC. We'll see how that goes.
So here's another fun story for you. So I read a story and it was talking about how the Ring doorbells are catching on fire. And I know there's a lot of Ring doorbell users out here. Because it's a popular device.
I want to see these videos of the actual Ring doorbell catching on fire.
I can't validate. I've seen one catch on fire. But from the story that I read, I think they're recalling somewhere at about like 3/4 of a million. You know,
3/4. Oh my God.
So, no, excuse me, 250,000.
Quarter of a million.
A
Okay.
little over 250,000. So about
Wow.
350,000, 400,000 devices, which still that's a significant amount.
It is. Hence
So,
the reason why I use Nest. My house is not
there
going
you
to
go.
burn down off
There
of
you go.
who-
Shout out to Nest.
Exactly.
Nest, here's this so we can get that good sponsor.
Exactly. Google, you know, we're your friend. I'm going to talk you up every time.
There you go. There
Google
you go.
Nest, I got them all. I got the, what do you call it? The mesh network. I got the camera, the doorbell camera. I got the outside cameras. I got the little screen where you talk to it and say, okay, Google, tell me about this or play this video. Awesome stuff. Play your music, play everything. You're right. Shout out to Google. Y'all.
Yeah, shout out to Google. You know,
send me some of your new stuff.
And we'll do a little review. You know,
Yeah, you know.
we'll do something nice. We'll hook them up.
You know,
But yeah, for those Ring doorbell users out there, man,
move the Nest.
from what I've read, it's the Generation 2
Oof.
Ring doorbell.
Catch it
I
on
didn't catch
fire.
the manufacturer date, but just to be on the safe side, I would say you know, go through the necessary steps to check out to see if that recall applies to you, because you know the last thing you want is, you know, your Ring doorbell catching on fire.
Yeah. For the uninitiated, like, how would they go about that process?
I would definitely say if you have the packaging still, which a lot of people don't, but if you do, you can check out the manufacturers there.
Okay.
I know the Ring doorbell does come off of the interface, so it does have some information on the back as far as the manufacturer type, the serial.
Melt in your hand.
Yeah, it's true.
You know.
I'm pretty sure your Ring doorbell catching on fire is not covered under your home warranty, so you might want to look into that.
I'm going to keep that up, Ring. Sorry.
Right.
I went with Nest.
But in any event, go with a Nest.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, because they're not catching on fire. But I thought that was a pretty funny story.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna see if I can find a YouTube, Instagram video of a
Yeah, that would not be
you know,
cool.
they do catch a lot of criminals, and one thing I will say
Yeah.
is I did a lot of research on it, and I moved towards Nest because, you know, I'm a Google fan and I'm already in that thing.
In that
but
family.
they are really good, and I watched a video this weekend. Being that it's Christmas time,
Right.
It's Christmas time. You need these doorbells. So it was a whole 20-minute video just of people getting caught stealing packages off people's
Doorstep.
off their doorstep.
Yeah.
And you should have seen it. People getting attacked by dogs,
Right.
attacked by owners, you know. And it's like, don't steal Christmas packages. Come on, you
Yeah, that's
guys.
just-
I mean, yeah, you'll end up on a Ring doorbell somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
That you don't want no part of that life.
Nah,
It's not worth it.
And you don't even know what you're getting.
Exactly. It could be a pair of socks.
You're like, I'm doing 5 to 10
Yeah.
and got beat up and bit by someone's dog for a pair of socks that I don't even like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how it goes.
But yeah, that's crazy. But so the last, you know, just a couple other things we kind of jotted down. One thing that I kind of came across was an open source. Open source essentially means free. You know,
I
it
like
means-
free.
That means like the company provides it for free.
Love
For people out there that don't have Microsoft Office, and I know that's a big deal because a lot of people are virtually working from home. Kids are virtually learning.
it. My ears are open.
So there's a program, free open source program called Free Office, and Free Office actually is a suite of tools very similar to Microsoft Office.
Okay.
So I know Microsoft Office 365, for those that are familiar, it's basically more like of an online solution. But you have to, you know, pay the subscription and
Well, I'm definitely listening because
check it out.
as I
Check
am
it out.
pro Mac, does that automatically make me anti-Microsoft?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. And I think there is a Mac version for it too.
Oh,
So
definitely. Hold on. Let me look
I mean,
that up.
Yeah, check it out because I think there's a Mac installer.
Okay.
So you might be able to put it on the Mac as well.
Would love to see it because one big thing that I think that Google's messing up on
Right.
is the desktop version of the G Suite.
Right,
You know,
right. Which is like the Google Docs and the
Google Docs,
right.
all that. Their version of PowerPoint, I forget what it's
Spreadsheet,
called.
Right, right.
They're most of the way there. For 90% of the users, G Suite is all you need.
Right, right, right.
And a lot of the template sites that go down there, they have
And it's
templates.
free.
Yeah, it's free. FRE, just like this
free office.
free office that you're talking.
Free
Okay,
office,
free
yeah.
office. I love that concept because I hate the concept of a subscription.
Right, right.
I hate it. Back in our day, not to say how old I am, but back in our day, you bought it.
Yeah, you just buy the one off.
You buy it and you keep it, and your version could be 7 versions behind,
and
but it still
like a
works.
charm.
It
Right,
still works. Right. Yeah, I think I still have Office 1997 somewhere, and I bet I can install it on any computer.
I'm sure it will work somewhere.
And it'll get me somewhere.
Right.
Versus paying, I don't even know what it is, paying per month for
Yeah, I should know the subscription costs, but I haven't purchased it in some
for
time.
us ballers out here. You know, shout out to the folks who don't know how much they pay for subscriptions out there. But that's one big thing.
Right.
What do you think would happen if people actually looked and added up all their subscriptions?
Yeah,
because
that would be a problem.
I mean, name and mine. I'm thinking, I'm a great. This is a great one. Primes.
You got your
Netflix, Hulu.
Your Hulus, right?
Oh my God, I have all those. I have Prime, Netflix, Hulu, Audible, my favorite audiobooks.
Right.
Audible, you're the best. You're the best.
Right.
I'd like the sponsorship. Let me come in and read some of your books.
Right.
But
and the newspaper stuff, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, all the other, magazines and niche,
one thing,
articles.
Being that I'm a photographer, I have that's
your photography?
Adobe. Yeah, my photographer. I'm a photographer. Adobe, my Adobe suite.
Yeah, same here.
Paying for that. So
same here.
that is, when I add it up, I'm well over $100 a month.
Yeah.
And I still pay for cable, internet,
right.
all that fun stuff, and cell phones. So are we getting off better or worse? I wonder. Yeah, if you do
I mean, it just depends. I think the Netflix, it works out well because you have access to all those different movies.
True.
They haven't updated it as much lately, but I would say on a regular basis there is new programming and special original programming.
Well,
so it kind of works out.
To put you on the spot.
Okay.
Who's the best? Prime, Hulu, Netflix, in your opinion, in 3 seconds.
In my opinion,
what do you like?
Pitch. If you had to pick one,
you could only have one subscription service for the next year.
For TV.
For TV. Movies.
I'll probably go with Netflix.
Okay, you go with
I
Netflix.
go with Netflix. I think that's the safer bet because they're kind of more or less the biggest game in town.
True.
As far as content.
True.
They don't have everything, but I mean, if I had to pick one, I think I'd go with Netflix.
Okay.
Who would you go with?
I would probably, to be honest with you, it's gonna sound crazy. I'd go with Disney Plus. What is that?
Disney Plus.
Because the kids. I don't watch any of that stuff.
But they got kid stuff on Netflix.
They do, but I mean, you start talking about the Disney movies. My daughter loves that stuff. I wouldn't watch it.
Okay.
But I just use my Audible to listen to books.
I could imagine it's that well is going to dry pretty quickly if you try to Netflix and chill.
Oh yeah.
With Disney.
I didn't think about that. Can I change my answer?
You can watch
Netflix.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, that definitely ruins romantic time.
Oh, most definitely. Rest assured.
Beauty and the Beast again.
Right. You might get one or two, one offs.
Yeah.
Then it's like The Lion King.
Yeah,
that's what we're watching
on
date night.
You can't really sit down and chill to a glass of wine with the man. What is it? Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah, you can't do
which
that.
I heard is good, but I'm really not that big into the Star Wars.
No. I just finished Sons of Anarchy on Hulu.
Okay,
which is good.
Yeah. I remember that used to be on TV. I think I watched some of it when it was still on.
Not bad. I pay my $11 a month for Sons of Anarchy, so I don't know what else is on Hulu.
Was it worth it? Was it worth your $11?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for that. But now that it's over, what do I do now?
Right.
So somebody let me know, what should I be looking for on Hulu, or should I get rid of my subscription?
Most definitely. And that's kind of how these things work, because I know on Netflix, when you see like a good series, I remember there was a series called Making of a Murderer.
Okay,
and it
I
talked
heard
about,
of that, yeah.
This guy that like killed this young girl. She was a photographer, and
Oh, photographer.
Yeah. But it's deep. It's deep.
Okay.
But
nobody kills photographer.
No.
Let's
this was a very special case.
Okay.
But I felt like you kind of seen on social media that the whole experience around the special or this documentary, I guess you would call it, it kind of fed into like Netflix. So it's almost like if you watched it, now you're a part of this community of people that are like, nah. Did you see the license plate? It really said whatever.
Oh, okay.
The blood sample, it was wrong. So it's kind of cool to like, be in that like little,
because it's their own
chamber.
thing.
Yeah, because it kind of becomes,
if you don't have it, you're not part of it.
Yeah, you kind of left out in the dark. And
were they the one? Because I'm a little bit out of loop, so
Okay.
I'm that old guy.
Okay.
What's the one with the Tiger King? Was that
Tiger
Netflix?
King, same thing.
For a while,
Same
that
thing.
was the biggest thing.
It
I
was,
remember people.
it
Carol
was.
Baskin,
Right.
Who
did Carol Baskin?
Exactly. So I got about 3 episodes in before just life took over.
Before you checked out?
Well, I mean, everybody said it was good. I just had other stuff to do.
Right, right,
life caught up with me.
Right.
Didn't get a chance to finish, which I will. But everybody said it was great.
It was good. It was
Okay.
good. I wouldn't,
You wouldn't use the great word on it?
yeah, I wouldn't reach for it as like, oh, you have to get Netflix for this special.
Okay.
But nonetheless, it was, I'm one of those people, like, if I see the first 2 minutes, I just have to finish it.
Okay.
So when I saw like the first 2 parts, I'm like, it's kind of like not that good, but I gotta finish it.
Yeah.
And then you get on Facebook, IG, people are
Everybody's
commenting.
talking.
Yeah, so you kind of get caught up in that little echo chamber. And
Yeah, because didn't Netflix have the Michael Jordan one? They had that one. That
yeah,
was
the Michael
pretty
Jordan one was good. The
Now that I think about
a
it,
show called Ozark, that was pretty good. That was on Netflix.
saw that
really
one.
good, really
I
good.
got to finish the last season.
Right, and if anybody has suggestions out there, by all means, hit us up in the comments or hit us up in the the below section and tell us what you think.
Man.
So just to wrap up, one other thing that's a real big deal, and as an IT guy, I think people should be kind of cognizant of this. There's something in your home right now that could be compromising your whole like Wi-Fi home internet network.
Okay, now I'm curious.
What do you think it is?
Compromising your whole? I don't know. I mean, I would
Something you see every day.
Man, you sound like a gremlin that's in your network.
Right. Boogeyman's in your internet.
I think that you guys are a little bit too young for gremlin, but yeah. If I had to guess, something that's in your network that comes out
Something in your home that could be compromising your whole network.
I don't know. I would have to say it'd probably be your phone, I guess. I don't know.
That's a good answer. It happens to be one of the devices happens to be your phone, but to put it in context,
Okay.
One thing that I think we need to be aware of, especially with our children, they have access to all these devices, iPads,
True. Yeah.
tablets, computers, phones. And I think as an IT guy, I'm a little more aware of it, but I'm still a parent. I'm still a dad.
True.
I don't keep up with their devices as much as I keep up my own because I might be doing online banking, we're doing taxes, we're paying stuff. So I'm, super on top of it. But I think a lot of times as parents, we don't really pay attention to these kids' devices and making sure they're updated, make sure the software.
Man, I'm guilty.
Right. And the OSs are updated. So, they can really compromise your network because these hackers and these, unscrupulous people out there, they know how to attack these devices, especially when people are not paying attention to it. So I think just as a matter of practice, we need to really pay attention to these kids' devices because
when you think of it like that, yeah, definitely.
they could really compromise your network, especially if you're kind of just like, hey, take the iPad and, be quiet.
Just run with it.
Yeah, just get out of my face,
Yeah. We've done that as parents. We've all done that. And no telling, they get a pop-up.
Right,
What are the kids going to do? They don't know to
Click.
Hey,
Right. Right.
Because the worst thing that I'd been thinking about is how my kids have ran up $200 and $300 worth of bills on
Yes,
on Roblox.
Yes, I learned that with what was it, Minecraft?
Oh, Minecraft.
Yeah, we had to have one of those. You're now becoming a big boy conversation.
Yes.
We don't do that. No, we don't. We don't buy things online. And shame on me for not setting the controls ahead of time. Just because I'm like, oh, my son would never do that. He knows better.
Which is part of it. I mean,
$200 later.
Yeah, but the good part about that is my experience with that is mine was on Roblox. I guess it's kind of like Minecraft.
Yeah, it's similar game.
Just was able to call them up.
Oh, you got the money back?
Yeah, got the money back.
Wow.
Because I was like, that was easy. But if I think about it, it doesn't cost them anything.
Right.
It's all digital.
Right.
They buy digital shirts.
Right.
And they just
skins and
stuff like so. They build it once and they can sell it a million different times. And they've already made hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars off that one thing. And my understanding of the way they think, hey, if I don't give this guy his money back, he's gonna pull his kids off of Roblox. Period.
Right.
So I will no longer get those legitimate purchases.
Right.
Because I'm one of those parents that's like, hey.
Oh no, I was about 2.5 bills in, and I went that route. And Minecraft was like, kids they do this every day, B. Like you just roll with it. I'm like, but he's a kid. Yeah, I'll look at the terms of service.
Wow.
But he didn't read the terms. Yeah, but he made the purchase. Okay, so just take that on the chin, huh? Yeah, roll with it. So
They was gangster.
it was a learned lesson. It was a learned lesson. Them devices are super locked down now.
Exactly. So my thing about that is, Minecraft would probably never get a purchase from you. Period.
Well, I think
Not
they've
even
actually
legitimate.
since changed because don't quote me on this, but I'm gonna get a shirt that says "Don't quote me." But I think some recent legislation over the years were like these class action suits of parents saying like, no, they're children. Legally you can't hold them to the same accountability to make an online purchase as somebody that's 18 or above. So I think now they've actually changed the controls. But this was
which
like,
makes sense.
I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
But it's still a good idea to lock that stuff down.
Yeah, most definitely.
Lock it
most
all
definitely.
down. Lock down the chats, especially if you have younger kids. Lock all that stuff down because you don't know who's trying to get into your network.
Right.
And I know nothing about hacking. I just have to sit back and say, oh, I'm one of those guys. Hope it doesn't happen to me. I'm a hope type of guy when it comes to hacking. So I got to take all my advice from you. I'm like, please don't hack me.
Right. I'm a good guy. Don't do it to me.
Do you think they listen to that? I'm like, oh, we're not going to hack the good guys.
Like, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah. They'll hold you for ransom. Get my stuff
We won't
back.
hack you. We'll just hold you for ransom.
Oh.
Stole 500 bills. We can settle this.
Yeah. Not worth it.
So what do you think about the first podcast, episode 1? What do you think?
Man, I think it went great. I think we got a good chemistry going. The fans are going to love it.
I think I had a good time talking about, tech
Definitely.
stuff, but from a casual perspective, we didn't quite nerd out. I'm sure a couple things went over some people's heads, but
But you know what? If you got any questions, shoot us a comment.
Most definitely.
We'll get
most
back
definitely.
with you. We'll get back with you ASAP.
Most definitely. So once again, my name is Ed,
I'm Joe.
and this is the You Should Know This podcast.